Today, we're diving into a story that sounds almost unbelievable. Russia lost Moscow forever. Here's what happened, and in just 2 minutes ago. While this may sound sensational, what follows is a mix of political shifts, strategic decisions, and cascading events. Sit tight, because this is a journey into how an empire can lose its heart without warning. Imagine this: early morning, corridors of power in Moscow thrumming with tension. Russian leadership, secure for centuries in their grip over the capital, suddenly facing a cascade of betrayals, defections, and unrelenting pressure from both within and without. 2 minutes ago, this peaceful facade shattered. It began with communications networks faltering, phone lines dropping, internet connections severed, command chains silenced. At first, they thought it was a technical glitch, then insider sabotage. It was underway, the soft coup nobody saw coming. At the same time, military units stationed in key districts started shifting allegiances. Some generals whispered of loyalty to a new council, a coalition of regional leaders fed up with centralized misrule. Secretly, this coalition had been coordinating, gaining support from localized military commanders and organizing control over supply routes. They had built a network of communications independent of the central apparatus. So when the order came not from the Kremlin, it came from these emerging power brokers. As the city awoke, citizens saw something surreal: troops in unmarked uniforms, roadblocks on arteries leading to the Kremlin, checkpoints manned by faces neither clearly loyal to the old regime nor overtly hostile. Public broadcasts were cut. In the place of official news, new messages flashed on screens: proclamations of a provisional council, promises of reform, and appeals to reason. Confusion reigned, but momentum was clear. The backbone of the old power structure, the elite security services, began fragmenting. Some factions declared neutrality, while others tried to stem the tide, but the tide was too strong. What pushed things over the edge was the banking collapse. Massive withdrawals, currency reserves frozen, and foreign exchange markets in panic. Without financial control, nothing works. Soldiers can't be paid, infrastructure falters, public utilities fail. In parallel, international actors recognized the new power center almost immediately, signaling that the old Moscow government was isolated. Sanctions started to be lifted for the new council, diplomatic channels shifted. This diplomatic recognition gave legitimacy to the formerly shadowy coalition, emboldening further defections. Meanwhile, ordinary people on the streets found themselves cheering or fleeing, depending on proximity to checkpoints. Some neighborhoods organized militias to protect themselves from both looters and radical elements. Food and medicine stockpiles became essential. Rumors flooded social media, some false, some true, that the former leadership had fled or that they were negotiating safe passage. The myth of Russian invincibility, the aura of untouchability around the Kremlin, had cracked. What was once unthinkable was now living reality. Moscow belonged to someone else. This happened very rapidly because the balance of power shifted quietly before the breaking point. Regions had been discontent for years. Military and security branches were stretched thin. Fiscal crises, unpopular wars, internal corruption all created fertile ground for someone to say, enough. The coalition had been building, quietly aligning governors, military commanders, business elites, even some foreign backchannels. When centralized power weakened just that bit, maybe due to a foreign policy disaster, maybe because of catastrophic economic collapse, the coalition acted. And in 2 minutes ago, they struck. Russia's loss of Moscow doesn't mean that Moscow as a city was conquered by foreign armies. It means the center of power changed hands. The city's institutions, police, local governance, infrastructure management now answer to new authorities. Symbols changed, flags replaced at public squares, portraits removed, statues draped or covered. State television now features new anchors, giving messages that align with the provisional authority. Currency might still bear old faces for now, but legal tender laws shift. Banking systems, too, now report to different regulators. The machinery of state, which once seemed monolithic, has been rerouted. What implications does this have? First, inside Russia, chaos in transition is almost certain. Old loyalties die hard, some pockets of resistance remain. There may be armed standoffs or guerrilla resistance. Civil unrest could spread, but there's also hope. This change could allow for a new political order that is more responsive, less centralized, more accountable. The regions could gain autonomy. Policy might shift dramatically on domestic and foreign affairs. Economically, there could be restructuring, debt forgiveness, new trade agreements. Internationally, watchers and governments are scrambling. Some see opportunity for new alliances. Others fear the vacuum could attract extremist actors or provoke intervention. Borders near Moscow could see migrations. Neighbors might seize the chance to assert claims. Diplomacy must adapt fast. Former embassies, treaties, contracts all hinge on recognizing who now holds power. Some countries might continue recognizing the old regime, others the new, leading to a patchwork of legitimacy. But, and this is key, nothing is settled. While Russia lost Moscow forever makes for dramatic headlines, history shows that power shifts are rarely permanent at the moment they occur. Counterattacks are possible. Negotiations, betrayals, surprises remain part of the game. The new coalition must secure loyalty, deliver services, maintain order, otherwise the very foundations they relied on to take power could crumble. What we've just walked through is hypothetical, though grounded in patterns from past coups, revolutions, and rapid regime changes. It's a scenario in which the capital Moscow is lost, not to foreign invaders, but to internal fracture, realigning loyalties, collapse of centralized control. 2 minutes ago, the world could have watched the unthinkable unfold. Thank you for staying with me through this fast, intense breakdown of 2 minutes ago. Russia lost Moscow forever. I hope this gives you insight into how power, unstable yet persistent, can shift in an instant. If you found this interesting, let me know what aspect you want to explore more: the military side, the political ramifications, or the human cost. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.